at the Monday Team Santa Rosa meeting. So if he wanted any input from Mr. Isaacson, he could have asked him while he was standing there. I think that was wrong. The writer of this story, you know who you are. That's wrong. You're trying to twist it and make it look like Alan didn't want to respond. I would imagine that he'll probably be writing a viewpoint that he'll hope to have in your paper. Now, to finish up the story, we went to the meeting on Monday.
Yes.
And
the team board meeting.
The team board meeting, and they had their little discussions. And really. Oh wow, Deborah! Breaking news! Just as you all heard the telephone call, one of our associates gave us a call, and the Pensacola News Journal is reporting that the state's attorney's office is reviewing documents that was given to them by our very own Alan Isaacson. They have indicated that those documents are in review, and of course Ed Gray said that he welcomes the review because they never do anything wrong. So we'll see how it works out, but that's you know, I think all myself or you or
I think it looks like the gravy train may be coming to an end, at least in this county.
Right.
I want to insert here, there's a lot of people, connected, powerful people in Escambia County who'd love to form a team type organization,
right,
and get the grant money and get all the other little benefits and perks that are coming through to Team Santa Rosa. I mean, that's a gravy train I don't think that they could keep control over for as long as they have.
Well,
and maybe they're getting honed in on. I don't know.
You know, all I've ever asked for, and I'll say it again, transparent, accountable government. And it appears that the state's attorney's office, District 1, Mr. Bill Eden, is taking an interest in that. For them to come out in the newspaper and say that they're taking an interest, I even appreciate that even more. It's out there. All I've ever asked for and hoped for was for that organization to review all this.
Right.
I will still go along with some of the comments that we read off the blog. I still believe a grand jury with 18 members sitting in there for about a year and put all of these emails and all of these scenarios out there and let the citizens decide whether or not they believe that any indictment should be handed out. And just a fair, reasonable, legal review of this. That's all I've ever asked for.
I don't think it should be any surprise to people that if you take an agency and give it government-style powers and an endless supply of government money, and then you take away the accountability, I don't think it should be a surprise that this is the point that you eventually end up at.
Well, but before we got that phone call, I was just fixing to say, and just for the record, and I'm not going to make a comment either way on this. I want you, the viewers, to know that the board of Team Santa Rosa, of Santa Rosa County, in a unanimous vote, even with all of what's been put in the newspapers, in a unanimous vote, the board of Team Santa Rosa voted to keep Gannon. Right. Now, we're going to get to something, and we're almost running out of time. This is important, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Williamson at the Monday County Commission meeting, he has proposed that each county commissioner be able to appoint one person each, so that would be 5 people that would go directly on the board, not sitting against the wall with nothing to eat while the rest of them eat a ham sandwich. 5 representatives, each commissioner, and anyone who is on the board now cannot be one of those 5 positions. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe my hat is off to Commissioner Williamson. I appreciate him standing up and being counted on this. And certainly with all the news coverage of late, we anticipate that is going to be a unanimous vote by the Board of County Commissioners that happened. There are actually 3 openings on the team board right now. They've already discussed that 3 of the picks would go on there now, and then as people step off, the other 2 would be filled as soon as possible. I'm sure Deborah feels the same way. I believe it is a huge step in the right direction in the accountability and the transparency of this organization. And this will allow a citizen representative to be on that board, and I think it is a good thing.
I agree.
And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm exhausted trying to get all this in here. Still didn't get it all. We're going to leave you hanging a little bit with one final item, and that'll be on our next show, is the county commissioners have decided to table any further discussions about stormwater.
Right. We expect them to decide that this week on Thursday.
Right. We expect that potentially is going to be a non-issue.
They had discussed reducing the standards for developers.
From a 100-year flood
right.
to a 25-year flood. There was a lot of arguments and all. We're going to get into all of that.
And there was a lot of support from the community, especially from the south end.
Absolutely.
And we thank everybody who showed up.
Want to wave at all my friends from the south end who got in their car and made it to the...
They understand stormwater.
Well, they do. They certainly have enough problems with it. And, you know, we'll go into a great deal of detail in our next show. We have a little more time left, so I want to hit one more thing. Also, in the previous Sunday, Mr. Snyder wrote a piece from the Pensacola News Journal. Here's to those who keep the rest honest. It's a small group of disgruntled people for about the last 2 years have been trying to dismantle Team Santa Rosa and destroy the credibility of board members, Santa Rosa Commissioner Don Salter says. Well, you know, and I'm glad Mr. Snyder started with that, but here's the thing that I appreciate. This is in praise of the disgruntled. May they long complain. I'm talking about the gadflies, the rabble-rousers, the people who get under the skin of the politicians, the people who shake the trees and believe that government should be open and accountable. They are the watchdogs. They bark when the hiring practices of team don't appear right. And one thing that Mr. Snyder said, and honest to goodness, we've seen it. I've been told to sit down and keep my mouth shut before. He put in here, when he asked the question, when did "I'm right, you're wrong, now shut up" become the regional, if not national motto? Mr. Snyder, I appreciate that. As you and I have discussed, a few names have been thrown my way. I appreciate you standing up for those of us who believe, just as you have said in here, that it is our responsibility to be the watchdog of government. It is our responsibility to ask the questions to make sure that we help government stay in line. So, I guess keep calling us names.
I don't mind.
Yeah, well, I don't mind either. It just goes to show the mentality of all of this. It's so easy to follow the law, but we would rather call people names. Wow, busy, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to tune in next week. We've got more detail on stormwater, and we're going to talk about another potential controversy with Team Santa Rosa, the hiring of a lawyer. I'm Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson. Good night.
Good night.